Alright, up for sale is a 1973 Chevy Monte Carlo Landau Edition. This car had a fresh paint job and some body work done back in 2005. However, it was a daily driver through a couple winters due to some financial issues, so I had to drive the toy through the winter. I kind of put up some rust pockets here and there, some trim starting to come off. The motor is a Chevy 350 out of a 99 Chevy Tahoe, switched back to carburation with an Edelbrock dual plane intake, Hedman headers, had some light work done to it, a pretty good cam, a Holley 650 single feed, zinc plated carburetor. It's got the Corvette variable rate valve springs and some other stuff. I've got all the paperwork from the motor, from all the motor work, all the receipts. Got over $2,000 just in the motor itself. I have all the receipts to prove it from back in 2005. This is being a Monte Carlo. It's a two-door. It does have the swivel bucket seats here. They do pivot. They need to be lubed up, but they still work. It's got a Chevy Turbo 350 transmission, 3-speed, short tail shaft. The tranny does leak a little transmission fluid. I have to got it out this spring. I had to put some into it because it sat for a while. Like I said, here's some of the rust bubbles coming up, and also around the fender well. And this trim's starting to come off. The deck here is still pretty solid. It's not all rusted. I mean, there's a rust pocket here, but I can hit it, and it still makes a sound. It doesn't just crush through. So rust isn't unfixable, but I don't know anything about bodywork. I'm not a bodywork guy. I said I'd use this as a daily driver for a little while, so it was, driven on a daily basis, put premium fuel through it. It does have, because of the motor coming out of a 99 Tahoe, it does not have the fuel pump that runs off the front of the cam like the old Chevys did. This has an aftermarket GM electric fuel pump in it. It's kind of sat for the last few years. I'd get it out, fire it up, and that's about it, then shut it back down. So it probably needs things like brake work. I drove it around the yard, around the block here, and one of the brake calipers seems to be hanging up. Let me fire it up here for you, and just let you know, I haven't had this fired up in a while, so this is cold. Get it in here. When you first fire it up, or turn the key on, you can hear the electric fuel pump prime. You probably can't hear it in the video, though. Can't really see the exhaust. I don't have good lighting here. She runs good. It's got a nice little lope to it from that cam. I have all the statistics on the cam, I do believe, and all my paperwork. I've got just a giant pile of all the receipts. We saved everything when we did it. She runs good. Never had any engine problems with it. Like I said, it was a full rebuild in 05. And since then, maybe 10,000 miles on it. When I used it as a daily driver, it was just to get back and forth to work, which is 40 miles a day, and I only did that for a couple months because of fuel prices being what they are. Now you'll notice, I'm sure everyone's asking about the dash. The dash is not all together. It's all here. Piles of nuts and bolts and screws. Tilt steering wheel, by the way. The reason the dash was tore apart is a previous owner, right before I got it, who actually built the car. I knew the guy in college, my roommate from college. He was racing a Mustang and blew a heater cord about 140 miles an hour. Heater cord just blew apart. So he started tearing the dash apart to put a heater core in it. That's when I got a hold of it. He sold it to me I put the heater core in it, so the heater core is repaired, but I never got the dash all back together. And I hate doing body work, and to me, tiny little clips and screws and plastic shit, that's a body work thing. I'm a mechanic. I'm an industrial mechanic. I work on heavy metal shit, not plastic clips and pieces and panels. I don't have the finesse for that kind of stuff. So as it stands, there's over $2,000 in the engine alone. This was painted a Land Rover blue, I do believe. But like I said, it needs body work. The wheel wells are rusty, some trim's falling off. So I'm asking $2,500 for this. Possible trades, maybe a small RV, a nice camper. But it really depends on what you've got. But mostly cash is king. So if you've got cash, we can maybe negotiate price a little bit. But it can be driven home. It'll fire up and drive. But like I said, the brake's hanging up. So if you're going too far, I wouldn't recommend it. Either way, shoot me a message. We can get this thing rolling, and you'll have a nice new toy to play with. Thanks.